Hey guys, okay, so I'm back with another book talk, and this one goes along with my last book talk. If you watched it or if you read this, which is really weird because I've never really met anybody else who has read these books, because I don't know, I haven't heard about them. Why am I so out of breath? Oh, I just went up the stairs, that's fine. Sorry. I've never heard of anybody else on BookTube who's actually read these books or even knows what I'm talking about. So if you've read these books, totally just message me or talk to me in the comments, because I kind of need somebody to fangirl with after I finish the second one. This book talk is about The White Glove War by Katie Crouch and Grady Hendrix. And this is the second book in the Magnolia League series, I want to say. I think, I'm not sure if it's a duology actually, because there's only 2 books, and trust me, I have Googled and Googled and Googled, and there's no existence of a 3rd book or any news of a 3rd book, and this book came out, I don't even know when, recently, I know that. And so this is the second book. I'm not gonna give an insight description because it is the second book and I don't want to spoil anything in the first book. So I will link my book talk to the first one in my pants, and you can click on that, and then that'll give you kind of the insight of what the series is about, and you can check if you want to go pick it up or whatnot. But yeah, so if you haven't read The White Glove War, I'm gonna need you to exit out of this video right now, and then come back when you read it and we can talk and discuss about this together, okay? Alright, so you guys, we all know we've read this, or the few of you who just decide to keep watching this video and not listen to me because you don't care about spoilers, or you just never plan on reading this book ever. Alright, so The White Glove War. This picks up kind of where the first book left off, if we think about this. The first book ends with Alex ditching Thaddeus and staying in town to finally become the perfect Magnolia that her grandmother wants and take over the Magnolia League from her eventually so she can tear it down from the inside out. Poor Thaddeus. I'm just gonna say, why would you do that? He was so cute, and they were gonna run away and they were gonna live happily ever after. This book, we have Alex trying to be the perfect Magnolia her grandmother wants, and how has to change completely, and she is no longer the Alex we originally met in the first book, and I really liked that Alex. And now she's back to her determination to what she's planning to do, unlike where she lost sight of that in the first book. Dorothy and Sybil. We never really got much insight in the first book as to that they were in a giant feud that has lasted for years. I really don't remember, I just read this too. I don't remember ever really touching on anything that they were not friends, because they run the Magnolia League together because they're part of the Senior Four. But in this book, we really get a lot of background kind of to the Senior Four. Dorothy and Sybil are in a huge feud, and I'm telling you right now, when it first started coming up that they were in a feud, I knew automatically that it was about a guy. Because what 2 girls are that catty and it's not about a guy? It has to be about a guy if you think about it. It was so backstabby though that what they did, she stole her husband or fiance or whatever, and that's not okay. It'd be equivalent to me stealing my best friend's boyfriend, which is not okay, especially on the best friends list. You do that and you can no longer be best friends ever. You ruin the entire friendship, and that's a lot to just out of nowhere do, and backstab your friend. Why the hell would you do that? That's horrible. I guess it kind of gives you the look into how their hold on magic they had, how it does change them and things like that. If it can get you to steal your best friend's man, ooh, you've got some problems. You probably need to stop. In this book, they talk about comeuppance once. They mention the word comeuppance. And who the hell uses comeuppance nowadays? What the hell does I can't even say that word. It's getting me tongue-tied. Comeuppance. I have never heard anybody use that term in my life. Ever. like, I've seen it in movies, but like they're old movies, so it's different. Like nowadays, I've never heard anybody say that, and I believe Hayes is the one who says it. Or is there a grandma? I don't know. It's such a weird word. What does that even mean? I think I'm gonna go Google the definition of that word eventually so I can actually figure out what it means, but I just thought that was weird that they used that out of all the words they could have used. Comeuppance. That's such a weird word to say anyways. Comeuppance. I hope you got your comeuppance. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. I'm being weird. At the end of the first book, we all know Alex is back on the track to taking down the Magnolia League so she can save her mother and everything. I really don't like how she changed. And I really like how when she's talking to Thaddeus, I believe it's when she gets caught trying to sneak out of their house, that they stop, you know, they have a session where they just stand and they like stare into each other's eyes lovingly, and yeah, whatever. You know, she's trying to distance herself from him because, hello, she's still in love with him, and of course he's still in love with her, but she doesn't notice that because, hello, we're girls. We don't necessarily pick up on things like that. We're like guys in that sense. But they're talking, and Thaddeus tells her, I liked you better the other way. I like the old you. And I like how it kind of affects her, and she starts thinking, well, I miss the old me too. I don't like what I've become. I mean, I'm itty bitty and I'm pretty and all this stuff, but she's not her anymore. She doesn't look like her. Like when she, in the first book, when she goes in to see her mother for the first time, her mother doesn't even recognize her because she's changed so much because of all the charms and magic they've used. And I like how he brings that up, and she kind of thinks, well, he liked me for the real me, not, he didn't start liking me after I changed and everything. He liked me back when I first got here and I was chunky and I had my dreads. And that really speaks a lot to me, that it affects her even more and she misses the real her. I find it sad that she had the gray man in her, and you know, she's trying to figure out what it is, and she just can't help being mean to everybody she loves to push them away, and she's not even being mean on purpose. It's the gray man controlling her, and I hate how it pushed everybody away. And like, she lost the one of the only real friends she had in that town, because she was trying to protect her. And you know, for a second there, I thought she had lost Thaddeus too, because you know, she was so rude to him and she didn't even mean it. And I was just like, okay, great, they're never getting back together. He's gonna hate her for the rest of the series or the books or whatever else, and I'm just gonna sit here and be like, just get together already, come on, you just do it, okay? And I love how even though she's done all these horrible things to Thaddeus, and it's not like she did it on purpose, she's either doing it to try to get her mother back or she's doing it trying to protect him and everybody else, he still likes her. And you know, even after she's done all these horrible things and he's trying to get over the fact that she's done these horrible things to him, and he just wants her, but he knows he can't have her because after all the horrible things she's done, he doesn't want to go back through that, and it's just sad. And it made me feel a lot better when I found out that the gray man was one of the reasons that some of the things happened, why she was being so rude to everybody, because I was like, man, you're ruining your chance. You're going to run him away because he's never going to want to be with you again because you're so rude. And it just turned out to be the gray man, and it's sad because I knew as long as the gray man was out there that Alex and Thaddeus can't be together, because we all know what would have happened. You know, Hayes, we never really got much of her point of view in the first book, because mainly the first book is told from Alex's point of view, besides the weird chapters that are told in third point of view to give you some information on what the Senior Four are doing. And so we got a lot more insight from Hayes because we did get her point of view throughout most of this book as well. And you get to see how all of this magic and everything that's going on is affecting her as well. Because, you know, she's grown up with all of these charms and everything, unlike Alex, who is like brand new to this world of hoodoo. And you get to see really how dependent the Magnolias are on their charms and all these things to make them look pretty and look younger and stay skinny. They're so dependent on these things, you don't realize it till you get a look into one of their lives and see how often they use this. Like, Hayes uses love charms on Jason for like their entire relationship, which is not a way to have a good relationship to begin with. She also uses so many charms to, you know, like stay skinny, control her hair, and clear up her skin and her face and make sure there's no breakouts, because, you know, that's just what they do. She's got to look the best. She's got to look the part of being the popular girl and everything, and being the perfect little girl that everybody loves. I find it really sad that she has to put charms on her boyfriend to keep him hers. Like, I know I just mentioned this, but that's not a way to get a relationship. And I like how she kind of envies Madison and Alex's relationships with their boyfriends, because, you know, Madison didn't use any love charm on Dexter. Dexter just won her over with his geekiness, and she really likes that. And Alex captured Thaddeus' heart just with her awesome personality. Like, there was no magic involved in getting them. Their relationships are true, and they're not fake, and they're not based off of magic. They didn't try to create something out of nothing. Like, there was already a spark there that just formed, and that's how it is. And I feel sad that Hayes doesn't get that, because she's spent so much time using magic to keep Jason under control. She doesn't really understand what true love is and what a real relationship is like, because she's so used to having to, you know, put another love charm and be like, hey, you're still mine, remember? I also like how towards the end of the book, Hayes' charms begin to wear off. And, you know, she finally realizes, again, how really dependent she is on these charms, because her hair is starting to go curly again, and it's starting to frizz. And her face is starting to break out, and all this stuff. It shows you how much they really don't like their true selves, because they've been so dependent on magic to make themselves look completely different than the real them. I was so sad when Hayes, you know, sacrifices herself, because she takes her book out of the Buzzard's storage area and burns it, and that's got all of her things, all of her charms. After this is done, she no longer knows who she is. All she knows is her name. And she doesn't know anything about the Magnolia League, she doesn't know anything about Hoodoo, and she doesn't look like, you know, the normal Hayes would look. She looks like the real Hayes, how she looked before all this magic and stuff entered her life and what happened. And I feel sad that she had to do that, kind of to save herself from everybody else, but also to kind of forget the horrible thing her mother did. Her mother was absolutely horrible. Why she was so possessed to have to go and set the gray man on Alex so her daughter could have what she wanted her daughter to have was beyond me. And if I was in a certain situation like that and my mother did something like that, I don't think I'd ever be able to forgive her, because her mom almost killed one of her best friends just so Hayes could get ahead of everybody else in the Magnolia League. And I'm like, that's not a way to do it, and it's so sad. I kind of wish she wouldn't have left at all. Okay, so Alex dies. Sort of. She dies, and, you know, she goes into heaven with her mom. And the fact that her mom was talking, she's like, well, where is everybody? She's like, oh, well, the only people here at the RC are dead. And, you know, then Reggie comes up, and she's like, why is Reggie here? And she's like, oh, that poor idiot. He got high and then went swimming at night and tried to surfboard, and of course he died. And I just laughed. I was like, that's what you get, you douchebag. And then, of course, the only thing he can friggin' think of at death is sex. He's like, I wish I would have taken Crystal, because this place is so boring without sex and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, God, you annoy me. Like, you freaking annoy me. I hate you. Go away. Die again. Go somewhere else. And, oh, he's annoying. And then he tries to apologize her for what he did and what was wrong. Damn right it was wrong. But, you know, apologizing it isn't going to make anything better, because you're a douche and nobody likes you and you got what you deserved. I also thought it was funny that Big John died as well, and he kicked it in the hot tub. So, you know, Alex dies, and it kind of scared me a bit, because I wasn't sure we could trust Cena, because let's face it, that girl's kind of crazy if you think about it. Like Sam, you know, you automatically get the vibe that you can trust him, but Cena, she's so mysterious and so concealed and stuff. Like, you're not sure that you can trust what she's actually saying. And when they start the ceremony to bring Alex's mom back and release her to the other side, and they put her in the coffin, I was, we had learned to kind of trust Cena because she released the gray man from Alex, and she did all these things for Alex to help get her mother free, and she puts her in the coffin. And so I'm thinking, okay, so she's gonna put her in the coffin, bury her, and then they're gonna bring her up, or they're gonna do something with the coffin, and I don't know what's going on. Well, they put the coffin lid on it, and they nail it shut, and then they put it in the ground, and then they start putting dirt on it. I'm like, it's okay, she's gonna live. It's not gonna be very long. Boy, was I wrong. I should learn not to trust people. She's laying there, and then I come to my senses, and I'm like, oh my god, she's not gonna make it, she's gonna die, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I have found yet another author that I can no longer trust with main characters. Because we have learned from John Green and Veronica Roth that main characters aren't always safe just because they're main characters, okay? We have learned this. And it's a lot, okay? It's okay. I can't do this. It's too much. And so I'm like, okay, well, here goes another main character. Woo! Why do all the main characters have to die now? Why is it such a cool trend to kill off main characters? Because everybody hates it, and you're ruining your fan base because they're all an emotional mess because you keep killing their favorite characters or the main characters, and it's like, what are we gonna do now? But I'm kind of glad she didn't die because, if she died, then it'd kind of be the end of the series, and I don't know if they could do a third book without her. I guess they kind of could to show how the Magnolia League is unraveling. But I don't think it would work very well because majority of the 2 books are told from Alex's point of view, and yeah, I don't know how that would work. Alex wanted to stay with her in heaven or whatever it was they were in, and her mom's like, you don't want to do that. You say that now, but after you've been here for a while, you start losing feelings. You don't have feelings anymore. You're just kind of here. And I feel like that was really sad because if that's the truth, I don't want to go when I die. I don't want to go there because I still want to be able to feel feelings. I don't want to be a complete robot and not have any feelings or how to express feelings or feel anything anymore. I hate emotions, but that'd be kind of torture because then you could never be happy again. You'd never laugh, you'd never really smile. That's really depressing if you think about it. Thaddeus and Hayes and Madison come to her rescue, and of course she's dead when they get there because whatever. And Thaddeus is just kissing her, and I'm like, this is so sad. She's dead, and he's just keeps kissing her he's gonna bring her back to life, and he's not. And we all know Alex comes back to life, and it's great, and it's happy, and I was like, finally, they didn't kill off the main character. I was getting scared there for a second. And they passionately make out, and Alex and Thaddeus get back together, and I am so happy because after the ending of the first book, I was like, no, you need to get back together. You can't do this to me. And that's the end. And it actually had a happy ending, which was, no, kind of. It kind of had a happy ending because, Alex is alive, and she got her mother across. But now the Buzzards have cut off all ties with the Magnolia League at all. He has only left in their possession their charms to keep them young and beautiful, and the blue root that keeps them tied to Savannah, Georgia. And at the very end of the book, we learned that Sybil and Dorothy both have practiced in hoodoo before, and they were doing it long before they found out about the Buzzards. The Buzzards were just more practiced and better at it than they were, and so apparently now what I'm thinking is they're gonna try to rebuild the Magnolia League with their hoodoo, and we're gonna see how this goes. And I really need a third book because I need to find out what happens. I need to know where Hayes went, if they're gonna find Hayes, what's going on, are Alex and Thaddeus gonna stay together and get married and have babies? Is the Magnolia League actually going to fall apart, or is it going to pick itself back up and try to fix everything and actually become better and greater, become a greater good than just a selfish little club for old ladies like it is now? I gotta know what happens. You have to write a third book. I need to know. I need closure. This isn't enough closure. This left it at too much of an open ending, and I'm not okay with this. I gotta know where Hayes is. I gotta know if Madison finds her. I gotta know what happens to Magnolia League. I gotta find out what happens all together, okay? So we need a third book, so I gotta find out what happens because I don't know about you guys, but I need an ending. I need a solid ending, then I can figure out what happens, okay? Alright, I feel like this book talk absolutely sucked because I read this book several weeks ago before I finally filmed this video, and everything's like not even in my mind anymore because I'm currently reading 2 other books. And yeah, so I'm hoping you've read this if you're watching this part of the video. If you have read this, then comment below and let me know what you thought of the book. If there should be a 3rd book, if I missed something I should have talked about and I don't know, so whatever. So I will see you guys next time with a book talk, Type 5 Wednesday, or tag video. Until next time, I'm Chrissy. And weird, and like she tried to kill herself and Hayes in the car, and then there's a garbage truck. No, it's the recycle truck. There are so many distractions while I'm trying to film this book talk.